Tell everybody the good news, the core of the joy, and I appreciate that.
She usually gets you there by preaching from across the top.
What's going on, y'all? This is Josh from Team Super Shoe, and welcome back to another episode of The Shoe Show. We are not talking about arch support. No, we are talking about the one and only core of the joy, the shoe of NASCAR, and just anything NASCAR related. Today, we have the honor of bringing on my buddy that I made friends with out at the St. Pete Grand Prix in March. I believe it was March. Mr. Jason Dukes. He is the CEO of Captain's Chair Coaching. He sits down with us and talks to us about his journey of being involved with NASCAR and also involved with, he currently works for the SRO GT series, which is broadcast on YouTube. I'll make sure to put the link in the description of how you guys can watch and follow this league. It's a really cool league where they race. It's stock car, but they really soup up these cars, and it's a lot of fun. They do mainly road course racing, but anyways, he's a really cool guy, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys find some inspiration from his journey. So y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy Jason Dukes.
All right, we'll start in 3, 2. Man, well, I feel honored that y'all asked me to be on the Shoe Show.
All right, y'all, we are back, and we are hanging out with the CEO of Captain's Chair Coaching, Mr. Jason Dukes. Jason, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good, man. It's good to see you again. We got to meet at the St. Pete Grand Prix a few weeks back. By the time this comes out, it'll be a month ago. And we had a pretty cool conversation during the SRO GT race. I kind of thought, it'd be kind of cool to bring you on and get to hear your story. So I'd like to know what your job entails as far as your coaching thing and how you got there.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll start in reverse with how I got there and connection to this show. Started out well, man, even before that, but for sure, full-time work for NASCAR from, I don't know, late 2001 or 2002 until about 2006 before leaving and becoming the drag strip manager at Gateway. And that's what sort of brought the drag racing part of my life in. And then later, well, so let's go even further back. In college, I interned with NASCAR up in New York City. I'm a Jersey guy. So found NASCAR in New York City, was able to intern with them up there. And then after college, was able to move down to Daytona Beach, Florida, and work in series operations. So, going back, if you're old as I am, like the Victory Lane hat guy is a thing. And for 3 or 4 years, 4 seasons, I got to be one of it was about 3 or 4 of us, but one of the hat guys. So if you go back and look at any old video from 2001 to about 2005, you'll see me in Victory Lane. Those were the super dramatic years of Powerade, Gatorade, and all the other different Victory Lane shenanigans that would go on. So the car would come into Victory Lane.
The hat dance, yeah.
Yeah. We'd have to put the big Powerade thing on the top of the car, and the Gatorade drivers would knock it off and say something under their breath to us and whatever. We just had to do what we had to do. But some very, very good years.
Nice. Yeah. And so you're saying that you per racetrack or, wherever you were at, you'd have to put Powerade and the guys would knock it off if they're responsible for Gatorade? Yeah.
So here's a little, going back, the I don't know, I guess it's almost NASCAR business case study now. It seems like yesterday to me, but it was really 20 years ago. But there was so NASCAR, the official sponsor of NASCAR is Coca-Cola, but Gatorade was the official sports drink. And then when Coca-Cola came out with Powerade became the sports drink of NASCAR. So Gatorade was sort of left out, and they went out and signed up a bunch of drivers. But then what they did was they went to ISC and said, let's sponsor Victory Lane. So now all of a sudden, all of the victory lanes at ISC became Gatorade Victory Lane. So now we had a NASCAR car pull into Gatorade Victory Lane, but the from the NASCAR side, like the whole thing is presented by Powerade, but it's in Gatorade Victory Lane, and that created a whole bunch of different things with the drivers who also have different, you know, either Powerade, Gatorade themselves, or Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So, you know, Jeff Gordon would come out, he'd knock the Gatorade down and drink Coca-Cola. I'm sorry, the Powerade down and drink Coca-Cola.
All right.
The Powerade guys would come out and they would drink Powerade. The Gatorade guys would knock it down and drink Gatorade. So, yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff back then.
Okay. All right. And what about captain's chair coaching? How did that start for you?
Yeah. So, like I have a real life story, right? Like I was went from NASCAR to Gateway out in St. Louis. Thought just motorsports was going to be that was my life. Like that's what I was going to do. And then life happened. My dad got sick back home in New Jersey, so I went back home to New Jersey to help him and the family take care of that situation. While in New Jersey, I went from being in the two epicenters of motorsports to being in the North Jersey near New York City, where there's at the time we had Englishtown, Wall Stadium, some things like that, but like nothing to really go to a full-time job. So I had to figure life out. I was 10 years into my career and now unemployed and in New Jersey and taking care of a sick father. So worked in private aviation, worked in theater, worked in education. And then finally, when everything settled down with my family, tried to figure out what to do next and ended up going to a life coach training program out of the blue and ended up starting a business consulting company from that. And my clients ended up being people in motorsports. So, coached some people in NASCAR, coached some people in drag racing, we met at a SRO event. So I coached the president and CEO of SRO. And then it's built itself from there.
And you've gone from NASCAR to SRO. Are you happier there? Is it maybe like the schedule freedom, or what is that?
So I mean, I still have clients in NASCAR, still have clients in drag racing, along with SROs. So it's not, I didn't necessarily go from one to the other. I do travel with the SRO series, and I don't necessarily travel for any of my NASCAR clients. I go to a couple races, but yeah, I mean, the SRO schedule is pretty awesome. Go to some cool places, and it's generally once a month compared to the the grind that I did from 2001 to 2005, just every week for 40 weeks straight. But
yeah, I was talking to some of the teams out there and in the paddock, and they were talking about how St. Pete and I forgot where else. I'm blanking now where the other one is, but that the rest of them, they don't have a ton of fans.
Right.
So and that blew me away because these cars are badass. Like those are wicked fast and they were so inviting. So SRO made me a fan. I'm excited to watch this whole season.
You have to come to more of our events. You can follow it on sroamerica.com. And so it's St. Pete and then Nashville are races where we run with IndyCar. So there's just a ton of fans because it's an IndyCar race. We actually do, they get a decent amount of fans at the other races, but the other races, it's just a different setup. So, and you'll have to come to one of those where we have all of the different SRO classes. So the race where you are, we had 30 cars. Our normal races, we have, 150 to 200 cars of just SRO participants in different SRO classes. Probably closer to the 200 because we'll have the Toyota GR Cup this year.
Okay, and those are different leagues, right? Like they don't have 200 cars on one track, right?
No. So there's a GT America class, which you saw, which is a sprint series. There's GT4 America, which is a true driver GT4 series. There's the World Challenge, which is a 2-driver GT3 series. We have Touring Car America, which is it's touring car cars, so closer to street cars. And then this year they added the Toyota GR Cup, which is a spec series of just Toyota GR Supras.
All right. Cool, man. Well,
We'll have to get you to one. You're gonna have to do the show from. We'll have to get you do the show from one of those.
I would love to. I'm hoping to, not GT related, but I'm hoping to make it out to Charlotte this year for my guy Corey. He has a kickball class where he gets all the NASCAR drivers together to play kickball, and they raise money for charity. And I think that's so cool. He does that every year. So I'm hoping to make that and then go to the Roval, which is Charlotte's, road course. And that's in October, but I don't know. I'm open, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nashville has to be a pretty cool place to go. That racetrack is amazing with the bridge and everything.
Yeah. It's a great track. It's run by Matt Cruz and Jason Rittenberry, both two former NASCAR guys. They've done a great job. They've done a great job with that event. It's so funny how all the different sports, like as you grow older, are intermingled. The president of IndyCar is married to, I'm blanking on names, but an old PR lady at NASCAR, and like everything's all interwoven. Like I'm on the sports car side. I know that I think Jim Cassidy, old NASCAR guys on like Trans Am side. It's all over.
All auto sports all mingles together. That's why I know, my people from Team Super Shoe would be totally fine with watching a show where we're talking more about IndyCar or GT or whatever, because it's all the same deal. I mean, we have different cars and stuff, but ultimately it's racing. So
yeah,
one of the
other thing, just randomly, one of the things that ends up happening with me is people always ask me, well, like, who's your favorite NASCAR driver or something like that? And it's like, well, I mean, most of the drivers, like I worked with their parents. And Corey's an example where I worked with Randy. I was, like back in the day of the Busch series, worked with Randy. And I think at the time he was driving the Kleenex car. Actually, my friend Brooks was his PR person. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well,
yeah.
So did you grow up a race fan?
Grew up a race fan, yeah. Not from a racing family though. I grew up a race fan because I had strict parents that made me come home and do my homework right after school, and so I would get done with my homework and I couldn't go outside until they got home or did something to like check my homework and get me out. So I ended up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and ESPN. So ESPN Speed World pretty much raised me, which was cool because I got to like grow up and work with a bunch of those people. John Kernan, Brett Kepner at Gateway, all the names of the voices that I heard growing up. So yeah, ended up being a huge monster truck fan, super boats, Mickey Thompson off-road series, like pretty much NASCAR, obviously, IndyCar, IMSA back in the day. So pretty much any racing that came on ESPN at 3 p.m., I was tuned in.
Yeah. Greatest, the best superheroes and the best sport. I'm okay with it. Me and you are buddies, man. I agree 100%.
Well, I ended up writing my college thesis was about that I talked just about NASCAR and heroes, villains, manufacturers against each other, team owners against each other, new California racers coming in versus North Carolina guys and all the different storylines and things like that, and created a whole college thesis out of it, and they let me graduate.
Awesome. Those suckers. So
I got one over on them.
Yeah. All right.
Money.
Well, man, so not regarding racing, auto racing in general, but regarding your race, I kind of wanted to know, you being involved in NASCAR, in this show, we're going to show photos of you back in like early 2000s hanging out with all the guys in Victory Lane. But
when I had hair.
NASCAR, has kind of a stereotype and auto racing in general. Do you feel as though you've made a difference in the industry when it comes to that?
I do. I was on the verge of a lot of different diversity programs when I came in. Like NASCAR had the drive for diversity. I was definitely a little bit before that. but I'm sure it didn't my race didn't open some doors. I mean, it closed a bunch of doors, I'm sure, and it opened a bunch of doors other places too. I've I have super funny stories, like when I was working for NASCAR, like I would show up at a track and we would talk for weeks on end before I would arrive at the track, and I guess I don't sound the way I look over the phone. This is 2000, 2001, 2002, right? So this was before video conferencing and all that stuff. Yeah, I'd arrive at the track and be sitting in the lobby, and like people would come out and be like, "Oh, we're looking for Jason," and NASCAR would walk right by me and whatever. And then there would always be the odd moment of like, "Oh, that's me. I'm Jason, the guy with the NASCAR shirt, sitting there in the lobby." That you've probably seen on TV. But yeah, I think probably some of the biggest impact that I had in just in NASCAR and building race relations. Not something I chose to do, but something that you just do by being there. I think that I worked there for many years, had great relationships. I feel like I was just one of the guys, and sort of made it cool. And sometimes I think that's the icebreaker that you need, of like, oh, like nothing blows up if you bring somebody on board. And so at the time there weren't many either. I mean, I can probably I mean, I'm 44, so I forget names, but on the operation side, like at the track, it was pretty much me, Ricky Kyle, Daryl Lomick. It's pretty much it on like the actual like at track operation side. There were some pit crew guys just starting out, and then in the office there were some people also. But I think that we were there and fit in, and actually were just one of the guys, and sort of I think that probably made the biggest difference. Also, my presence though helped recruit more people as time went on. Like there's some people, some of the people that get talked about way more than I do now. People that are recruited, or that my presence recruited. So really excited about that.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad that they, that NASCAR, just look at you like an equal, because at the end of the day, we all are we're all God's children. We're all here, man. Doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. We all should be getting together, getting along, and so that's cool, man. So
we all got the same addicted to racing disease.
hey, yeah, we all bleed auto racing, man. So
yeah.
So I when I got to meet you at the SRO, the GT area for the GT race, we hit it off a little bit, and you got me tickets to my first drag race for pro mods out here in Florida. And I got to tell you, dude, if any of you guys that are watching the show that have not seen drag racing, you got to go see it. I never thought much of drag racing, because I'm just competitive. Like I'm like, I want to see the race, right? I want to see the person that I cheer for win. And those races are 4 seconds long, but dude, the noise of
I told you you're gonna have problems explaining it, and so it's fun to see you try to explain it.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Like I thought NASCAR races are allowed even back, even before this newest car, where they've quieted them down a little bit, or they've taken the pipes away from the fans. And no, it is. I mean, I had to. This is, I have been through a lot of noises. And this is the first time I've had to like do this at an auto race or at anywhere. I've been at loud concerts, man. So appreciate you giving me those tickets, and I have to go to the even bigger. What'd you say it was? Top Fuel, right?
Yeah. So what you saw was one of my clients, Wes Buck, from Drag Illustrated magazine, ran the World Series of Pro Mod at Bradenton Motorsports Park. And so the race that they did was an 8th mile race. So if So it's 8 mile and it's pro mod. In the scale of loudness, there's two classes that are even more loud than pro mod, Top Fuel and Funny Car, and they actually run just shy of a quarter mile. They run to the 1,000 foot mark. So it's a little bit longer distance, a little bit faster speeds, and well, I don't even know if it like even registers, but actually way louder. But the event that you got to see pro mod, it's exciting because it's loud and the cars are typically sort of evenly matched. Just good racing. And you're a racing addict. Unfortunately, the more that you learn about drag racing, the more that you're going to want to learn about drag racing, and then it's going to spiral out of control, just like all the rest of us. So
Yeah,
I'm here for that journey with you.
yeah, this past weekend. So this past weekend of racing, Sunday, I watched the because IndyCar is off for a few weeks. The past weekend was just NASCAR, which is my main love. And I turned on I think it was FS1, and they had dragsters going, and then the pre-show started. I think it was FS2, and then it went to FS1 for the pre-show for NASCAR, and I stayed on FS2. I was cheating on my NASCAR, and I sat there and watched it until the NASCAR race started because man, it's not a ton of fun to watch on TV, but like after going to it, I was like, man, this is just so freaking cool,
Yeah. It's hard to it's one of those hard to explain. You just have to go. There's a saying in drag racing that you just at least have to go get your yearly dose of nitro, which just means going there, smelling it, hearing it, getting like your just chest pounded by it. It's just something that it's almost like a yearly baptism that you just have to go do.
Yeah. And now, so that pro mod race that I went to, the dragsters, we didn't meet to, you ended up going home, but wanted to know, like, what's your normal responsibilities? Like, that was one of your clients. So like,
Yeah.
what do you oversee there?
Yeah, so a lot of what I do with my clients, it's like I said, I ended up going to a life coach training program, and so I've pretty much meshed life coaching with business consulting and created this mashup where I help just these supervisionary entrepreneurs, help them create their goals, keep them on track, and then basically integrate that into both their life and their business. And so with SRO, I do that with Greg Gill, the CEO there, and then at the World Series of Pro Mod, Wes Buck, who is the founder, innovator, visionary of all that. Like that big event that you were at, like literally came a concept. Well, so that was the fourth year of doing the event, but him formulating that idea and doing it at Bradenton actually happened on a phone call with me probably 6 months ago.
Nice. Cool. Well, while we got to meet at the St. Pete Grand Prix, you showed me some pretty cool photos of NASCAR, of you in NASCAR and Victory Lane in NASCAR in early 2000s. And I remember one time, I mean, when you first started showing me, I was like, that's you? I was like, man,
I was
doing this your whole life.
And had an afro.
Hey, but you look wiser now, so it's all right. So
nice way of saying white hair in my beard. Yeah, I do. Actually, there are some benefits to that. This past weekend, when you were watching the pre-race show of NHRA and NASCAR, I had an acting gig. I'm not an actor, but I literally got pulled off a street and someone was like, "We need a doctor." And I'm like, okay, like, and I acted in a commercial as a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
I played one in a commercial. Absolutely.
Nice.
So my random life.
Such a celebrity we have here at the Shoe Show today. So, man, you got to go from NASCAR to GT and all the things that you experienced in your career. Do you have any favorite moments or memories that maybe you'd want to share? Funny things, anything?
God, all of it. Such a hard question, right? Because I mean, you experience it. Well, yeah, I mean, you experience it being at the track, and I mean, I'm 22 years into the damn 20, yeah, 22 years into this. So there's, I mean, I did an intern in college. I did an internship at PPI Motorsports when who was driving? It was Andy Houston and Ricky Craven, maybe. Um, and so like just like, and I mean, I grew up a fan of like Andy Houston's dad, and grew up watching Ricky Craven, and so it's like, uh, the different stages of life. I think Andy Houston is a spotter for someone right now, and it's like, so the different variations that he's gone through life, the different variations that Craven's gone through. Cal Wells, the owner of the team, like, I was his little intern like at some point. Now, got to do all the things. Like, I don't know, it's funny how all the people, all the things evolve. Like, I remember being starstruck by Juan Montoya probably 2003 at Homestead. Like, he came in as a guest of Chip Ganassi, and it's like, and I was like super starstruck. Like, couldn't even speak starstruck because I watched him in kart and Formula One, and then it's like, over the years, it's like I've sort of worked with him, and then been at go-kart events with him and his son, and then like either last year or 2 years, like just standing next to him at a fence at a go-kart event over here in Pompano Beach, Florida, like, like it's like nothing. So it's just the weird ways that some of this stuff evolves is just it's just out there. The people that you meet, the things that you get to do with people, like I've for yeah, this is going to sound ridiculous. I've forgotten more cool things that I've done than the average person will ever get to do in their life because of racing.
Yeah. Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I didn't even mean to say it as a problem. Like, this lifestyle has afforded me to do such cool things that I've literally forgotten more things that I've done. And like, not an insult to any of the things, it's just I'm old and I've done a lot of things. Well, I'm not old, but I've done a lot of things, and I've forgotten more cool things that I've gotten to do because of racing than most people even get to do in their life. So actually, you know what is interesting? That both the people in the industry that watch the show will resonate with, and the people not in the industry will resonate with, is just going to a normal bar on Sunday and watching racing, like as a fan, but also knowing like I can go to a bar where there's like you said, like IndyCar, NHRA, NASCAR, sports car racing. And it's like, and I know everyone on the screen, on all four screens. Like, I know not everyone, but most of the people. And and then you're sitting next to a person who just wishes they could go to like a race once in their life, and it's like, wow, like, I've been to all of those places and know all of those people on the screen. It's a weird, it's like a weird Twilight Zone type thing when it happens.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I don't know what that's like, but maybe someday in the future.
Oh, so, you will. You'll call. I hope you remember this interview, because you'll call me when it happens, and you'll be like, I was just at a bar and someone said something ridiculous about Corey, and I'm like, I know Corey, and they're like, no, you don't. And you're like, no, I do. Like,
yeah,
like I do.
Yeah. So, so to end all of this, when I speak to you now, and when I spoke to you at the racetrack, I felt like you were kind of a good spokesperson for any entrepreneurs or people that dream to be involved in NASCAR, even myself included. I'm just doing this podcast, and I have involvement with Corey LaJoie's fan base, but which I'm a fan too, but it's you're an inspiration a little bit, and I kind of wanted to know, like, do you have any inspirational words or advice for people trying to follow their dream into any type of auto racing?
Yeah, just continue to do it. Is my dream. From the life coaching standpoint of it, is no, like, never lose your fandom, but at the same time, like know that like NASCAR is some of the best marketers in the world, and we've it's almost like wrestling where it's like you create these great storylines and you create these great things, and then you get there and it's a people business, right? Like it's a whole bunch of people who have the same racing addiction that you do that get to live this lifestyle. But you've likely been introduced to them through these storylines and whatever, and like, you show up and you expect this person to be this way, you expect this person to be this way, and you expect all these people to be a certain way, or you expect there to be certain limitations or certain things, or you don't belong here, or whatever. Like, none of that's true. Like, if you show up and can provide value, you pretty much get to stay. And it's a people business. Like just I've met the most amazing people in motorsports. So if you're a good person and can provide value, then just keep trying, because there's space for you.
Nice. Well, good, man. Well, Jason, man, it's been good to have you on the show. We've hit it off a little bit off the show, but I kind of wanted to share your knowledge with all of the Shoe Show fans. And man, I just appreciate you coming to talk to us.
Oh man, I'm excited. And same. Any of your fans, anyone want to reach out to me? Please reach out to me. We hit it up. I'm a people person. I'm excited to see where this ends up in 10 years from now. We'll be like, man, all that started on the Shoe Show. Hey.
We'll see.
Or in St. Pete. Actually, it started in St. Pete and then evolved into the Shoe Show. Now, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm just grateful for what I get, and just riding the wave. So, But all right, Jason. Well, man, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the GT season. I'm going to be watching. Hopefully, the rest of the Shoe Show fans will be watching. This is going to be broadcast in mid-April. So, what cities you're going to anytime soon for GT?
We'll be in Sonoma and then New Orleans.
Okay.
So the end of, by the time this airs, we'll already have been we'll have finished completed the race in Sonoma and be on our way to NOLA Motorsport in New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay.
And we got to get you out. We got to get you out to another event so that you could see a couple things. We're going to get you to a full SRO event. You can see all of the SRO, and then we'll get you to an NHRA race too, so that you can see.
I'm 100% in, man. That'd be awesome. So
right, well,
cool, man. And what was the website you said? Was it what was the GT website?
It's SRO America. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Wes's website for Drag Illustrated is just dragillustrated.com.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to be following there. I'm already following on the YouTube channel, and hopefully everybody else does as well. I'll put a link out in the description of the show. So, but Jason,
and I'm me, Captain's Chair or Captain's Chair Coaching.
100%. Cool deal. Well, Jason, man, thank you so much. It was good to talk to you.
Same here.
All right, man. Take care. Jason, once again, thank you so much for coming on the Shoe Show. It means a lot to us that you take the time out of your busy day to come hang out with us on the Shoe Show. All of us Corey LaJoie fans, we get to hear cool stories, not necessarily just from Corey LaJoie's garage and crew, but also to hear from you, man, and your story of how you got to where you are with Captain's Chair Coaching and getting to not just have your history from NASCAR, but you're doing your current stuff with GT. You're also have some of your clients out at your drag racing, and man, it's just so cool to hear that, and inspirational for anybody that's trying to get into the industry of auto racing. In general, auto racing, we're all connected, right? We're all different cars and different manufacturers, but we all have the need for speed, and we all want to be the best, want to be the first. So, Jason, man, thank you so much for coming on. For anybody watching, I appreciate you guys so much. If you could, please, if you're listening to any of the audio podcasts, please rate and review. Let people know that you're listening to the Shoe Show. It helps us out a lot. If you are watching on YouTube, comment, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. If you have not joined us on Facebook, that's where it all started. Team Super Shoe is a group on Facebook, and I would appreciate if you guys all come and hang out with us there, because we have so much more conversation there than we do here on the YouTube channel or on the audio podcast. Otherwise, guys, I appreciate you again. It's another month of the Shoe Show, and you guys are a big blessing in my life. So otherwise, I hope you guys have a good month, and otherwise, God bless, stay safe, and go Correlate Joy.